Hey guys, Josh here, and today I want to talk about Call of Duty. Now, this year's Call of Duty Infinite Warfare has got so much hate, and personally I think it's quite unjustified, and it's kind of just the in thing to hate on COD now, and it's been that for years anyway. Hate on COD just for the sake of it, really, without even really looking at the game for what it is and seeing if it's good or not. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. This is a video to give my impressions. There are some good things, a lot of good things, I love it, but there are also some bad things, and there are some things I want to talk about. This isn't a completely unbiased, this is, biased, this is the best game ever, no, I want to do a balanced thing. I want to talk about this, on a balanced, reasonable way. So firstly, Infinite Warfare, I think, is a good game. I'm really enjoying the beta. As I can talk about the good points first, I love the movement system is drawn back a bit. It's not so over the top flying through the air like it was certainly in Advanced Warfare, but even in Black Ops 3 you could sort of fly through the air a lot faster. You got a lot more speed and height from the boost. The boost in this is a lot shorter. You boost for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds tops, and it's not really that high at all. It's more sort of a gradual sort of, it's to be sort of used to get across gaps in the map and that kind of thing. There's no real way you can boost through the air. So that kind of bullshit, people appearing from above you, just doesn't really happen. People try it, and some people occasionally get a good chance to do it, but it just rarely happens. The wall running's there. I don't think there's anything wrong with the wall running, personally. Overall, the game just seems like a much more slower turned down version of Black Ops 3's movement system, which is good. As I said, I think Black Ops 3 had it a little bit too over the top, but it's toned down a bit. And then personally, I love it. It feels fun to run around and get those around corners quickly and get those little boosts, and they can be used tactfully. You can run around a corner and then quickly double back on yourself and get over people and stuff like that. So it's really tactful, that kind of way. So that's good. The guns seem really good. There's such a good mix of guns this year. Really good mix. Everything seems quite balanced. Nothing really stands out. Everyone's using different things. You've got different types of auto rifles. Loads of SMGs, but also different types within them. So you got normal bullet ones, and you got these energy ones, which are like, they fire like a really bright blue light when you fire them, and they're like really cool different types of designs. There's a burst rifle that bounces off walls a little bit, so if you get campers in a corner and you fire them, the bullet will go through them and bounce back and hit them again. So it's like a one burst kill on campers. I don't know if that was intentional, but it seems pretty good. There's like an assault rifle that you can snap in two, and it becomes two little mini SMGs. There's another one which is like an SMG, which you can you sort of stretch it and it becomes an auto rifle, and it becomes a bit slower and more accurate. So yeah, it's really cool variances within the weapons themselves, which is really cool. On top of that, there's this really cool variant system which they did in Advanced Warfare, if you remember. They had this system where you had sort of epic and legendary and different versions of the base guns, which had better stats and look cooler and had cool skins from them and stuff like that. They were given through supply drops, if I remember. Yeah. And it was kind of shitty because that was the only way to get it, and it was really annoying, to just it was RNG on whether you got these guns or not. Now, there is RNG to it. You get supply drops still, and you can get these weapons to drop, these variants, but you can still get them normally using a new crafting system, which is really good. But basically, you get salvage for playing the game, like wins and stuff like that. You get more different modes. I don't know quite how it works out, but you get this stuff called salvage, which then you can put towards buying these variants of guns. You also get so much salvage every day you log in. You get 500 a day, and I think you get more. I think you get 1,000 if you own the season pass. So basically, if you just play the game, you can get these variants normally without the RNG. So that's a good point. But yeah, like I said, the weapons in general are really cool. The maps I've seen so far are really cool. Really nice designs and really cool world setting. It's space, it's the future. There's this map which I thought was on Earth, and we were playing on Earth, and you're in this sort of suburban little town area with a train station. It's called Throwback, yeah. I'm playing in that map, and then all of a sudden I noticed in the sky, Earth. I'm like, oh, we're not actually on Earth. We're orbiting Earth in some weird space station thing. And I was like, oh, that's cool. There's this giant space station orbiting Uranus or something like that. Not Uranus, the planet Uranus, which looks really cool. It's very influenced by aliens, sort of white corridors and stuff like that. Sort of mess halls and stuff like that. Really cool looking designs. There's another map which is a snow map, and actually you're on a moon, like a snow moon, and you can see Jupiter in the sky, and it's massive. It looks really fucking cool. Really cool map design, and really good setting, actually. And I think that's another point, which people are shitting on the designs of the rigs, saying the rigs are so kind of unimaginative and kind of boring rigs that don't particularly stand out, and I think that's the good thing. So I didn't know about Black Ops 3 was you had these specialists, and you had all the different actual specialists, and they all looked different, and they all had, you know, specific designs for them. They had names, you know, Battery and Ruin, all that, and it was like you were playing as heroes, action heroes, running around in the game. It made it very arcadey and less kind of personal. You weren't the average soldier, you were these like superheroes, and it didn't really work for me. Whereas this is drawn back. The rigs are kind of just rigs used by ordinary soldiers, and there's different types. And there's these robot ones which are very drawn, yeah, very pulled back. They're not over the top fancy robots, they're robust robots for the job. And I think it's a really cool setting, actually, and people were moaning about those designs, but I thought, no, they fit the world really good. And I think they're really interesting designs that are more practical rather than sort of cool looking. And in that regard, they then look cool because they're a lot, yeah, they're sort of practical look. So yeah, that's that for the sort of setting and design and weapons. Now there's the issues I have. Well, before the issues, there are a few more things. There's so much to talk about. There is the fact that you have some really cool things like you now get like showing like how many kills, like the shots people got on you and that kind of thing, detailed breakdowns of when people shot you, stuff like that. There's gravity stuff where you shoot dead bodies and they float up to the top depending on the map you're on. There's so many cool things like that that really make this game, and there's so many things I just can't think of right now that are really cool. But anyway, there are some bad things, and mainly they're just issues that will probably be fixed, server sort of stuff. Firstly, the beta had problems on launch, and that seems to be the main thing. I'm going, oh, it didn't go up on time, it's the worst thing ever, Call of Duty's dead. It's like, okay, calm down a bit. I watched one guy who was complaining that he had to be up at 10 in the morning, in American time, to play the beta, and it wasn't up on time, and he was pissed off about that fact that he got up early at 10 AM. It's like, who the fuck classes 10 AM as early? Some really annoying people on the internet. He also complained that there was too many grenade types, and it was also just trying too hard to be creative. Okay, so people for years say Call of Duty's not being creative and different, and then they try and do it, and then people complain there's too much new stuff. It's like, okay. But yeah, there are issues. Like I said, the server issues on launch, you know, on the launch of the beta itself, the servers weren't working for ages. There are some general issues. It takes forever to find a game. And I don't know why. They introduced this new matchmaking system, and there's issues with that because it literally takes ages to find a game. You'll sit there for 10 minutes sometimes, and then suddenly people pop up, and it's like, okay. Having said that though, when you do find people, it loads pretty fast, and I think they do what Halo did, which is where they load the map while you're in the lobby, and then when the game starts, it starts, and within like 5 seconds you're in the map, which is really cool. No more like big long loading screens showing the map. And that's when disconnects happened and that kind of thing. So I think the lobby process is longer because it's doing all the connecting and that in the lobby rather than while it loads the map, which led to issues and stuff like that, and disconnects and timing out and that kind of thing. Also, there's issues with the netcoding in general. Like I said, lag compensation is such a big problem, especially for a game like Infinite Warfare where the time to kill is quite low. Now, I don't know whether this is something they need to maybe think about increasing the time to kill to balance out, because lag, you can't really... Yeah, there's two ways of dealing with lag compensation bollocks. Basically, right now, you either have a good game or you have a really bad game where you constantly get killed in like 1 or 2 shots by everyone because they got bad connections and you get penalised for it. So there's two ways of dealing with it. Either you have dedicated servers and everyone's on an equal footing, which people complain about for years why Call of Duty don't have dedicated servers, and they kind of say it does and then it doesn't quite, and you're still in host games. It's annoying why there can't be clear dedicated servers for a Call of Duty game after all these years and after so much money's been paid towards Activision. So I will admit that, you know, I will complain about that, saying, you know, they do need dedicated servers and they need decent ones that are there, not just say there's dedicated servers that don't work sometimes, and half the time you are in P2P games. The other way you could deal with it is because the time to kill is so low with the lag compensation, it can mean that you're killed in like 1 or 2 shots for you, and then for them it's like 5 shots. The other way to do it is just to increase that time to kill. Not much, just a little bit, to kind of counteract that, just to give you a little bit more of a chance to kind of fight. Because it does seem sometimes that you can get the drop on someone, start shooting them, and they can just turn around, bloop, and you're dead. And it's lag, and it's really not fair. So that needs to be worked on. That's the major issue right now for me, is just that kind of, you can have a good game, a really good game, and a really fun game, and then you have like 3 or 4 bad games where you constantly get put against people with shitty connections, and so lag conversation happens, and you're penalised, and it's, you get bad games, and you're really bored, and you're really pissed off of it, and it's frustrating. So hopefully they work on that. Like I said, they introduced a new matchmaking technology. They said that matches you with better people suited to you. I think that's been under a lot of strain. It's a beta, that's the purpose of it. So hopefully the servers will be going down tomorrow, and then they'll be back up next weekend. So hopefully while they're down, they'll work on things, and maybe next weekend we might see an improvement. Hopefully, I have noticed a bit of an improvement as the weekend's gone on. So they are already tweaking things, settings, stuff like that. So the final section I want to talk about is this constant fucking need to have a war with Battlefield, which Infinite Warfare's had this year. You go to an Infinite Warfare video and you get so much hate saying Battlefield 1 is better than this trash, or this looks shit compared to Battlefield 1. And it's just like, firstly, they're completely different settings. And secondly, well, to be honest, I think Infinite Warfare will be the better game in the long run. Battlefield 1 to start with is not World War 1. They're selling it as World War 1. It looks like World War 1 in terms of the skins, but it's not World War 1. World War 1 was not running around with SMGs and semi-automatic rifles and tanks everywhere and planes everywhere. There were tanks and planes. They were very primitive. They were sluggish. They were slow. They were more used to just scare the enemy because of this great big hunk of metal rolling towards them. Trench warfare with, bolt action rifles pinned down for hours on end, getting shelled to pieces, and then you just go over the top and die anyway. There was no running around, dashing around, fighting in buildings with all these SMGs and stuff. Basically, EA wrote themselves into a trap of basically setting a game in World War 1. Well, like, shit, World War 1 isn't actually that interesting for a game. Certainly not multiplayer. For a single player game, then yeah, maybe. But for a multiplayer game, it wouldn't work. So they were like, shit, what do we do? We'll just make a World War 2 game and skin it like a World War 1 game, which is what they've done. So it's kind of selling itself wrongly, and I think, I don't know, it looks too arcadey to me. The bullet drop is basically gone now. It looks more like COD than COD ever was. It's just like trying to get close to COD now. They're trying to take the people who are pissed off with COD and grab them. COD, on the other hand, is evolving and becoming something completely different and new, and people are complaining about that and saying it's too new, too different, it's all this space stuff. The campaign in Infinite Warfare looks amazing. All this interplanetary war with other planets. Kit Harington is the bad guy, which looks really fucking cool. Jon Snow's a bad guy, I can't imagine, and I imagine he's going to do a really good job. Conor McGregor is like his henchman. It looks like a really fucking good story. And I've heard some of the soundtrack in game on the beta, the main menu music sounds so fucking cool. And I'm really hyped for the story. And finally, this is one of the big points. Everyone's moaning about that £70 odd price tag for the Legacy Edition, which gives you Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered. And everyone's going mental saying it's too much money, why should we have to pay for it, why aren't they separate? Yeah, they should be separate, but just think about this. The Ultimate Edition of Battlefield 1 is more than that. I think it's like £100. And all you're getting with that is you're getting the game and season pass and a couple of little bits and bobs. You're not getting 2 separate games, which is what you're getting with the Legacy Edition. Basically, for like £40 for the main game and £30 for the other game, you're getting a bloody good deal with the Legacy Edition. I was personally torn over whether I was getting Infinite Warfare. I just wanted to try it for myself. Infinite War would always do good CODs, even Ghosts. I love Ghosts. Not at the time, but going back to it now, I realise how good Ghosts actually was. And Infinity Ward always do the better CODs, in my opinion. Treyarch do the more arcadey ones, Infinity Ward do the more like grounded, sort of realistic-y kind of ones, which is what this is. That's why the robots look kind of shitty, because they're not supposed to be amazing, glamorous robots. This has been a long video talking so much. Hit detection is good as well. That's another point I want to bring up. Hit detection is so good in this one. Like you can't fucking quick scope very easily and get those random lucky shots that are nowhere near someone and they connect. You have to aim at them, so that's good. Having said that, quick scoping is rife and it is everywhere. But yeah, it's like, it looks fucking cool. They're really trying this year, really trying to do something different, and they're getting shit on because of that. Whereas Battlefield just go back and do what they did years ago and everyone complained. And I remember when they did World War II COD, and then they did Modern Warfare, and everyone's like, Modern Warfare is amazing. And then Treyarch came out and did World at War, and I remember people saying, why the fuck is it going back to World War II? Well, that's what we're doing now with Battlefield, and everyone's like, yeah, I did exactly what the players wanted. It's like, okay. To end this, basically, Infinity Warfare is a good game, is a really fun game, has some really nice deep customization and unlocking progress to do with the crafting and all that. The movement system is toned back and more grounded and is there just as a little aid to get you around the map rather than the big gameplay changing thing. The setting is really fucking cool. The guns are really fucking cool. The gameplay is really fun and I just love it and I'm really looking forward to it. There are issues, mainly just server stuff, and if you can get them fixed, I think this is going to be a good game. Really good game. On top of that, if you buy the package, Legacy, like I am, you get Modern Warfare Remastered and the Modern Warfare multiplayer as well as a bonus, and all the progression through that. So it's a really good package this year, and I think that's the one I'm going to go with over Battlefield. I'm not interested in Battlefield this year. I really ain't. So that was my little thought piece on Infinite Warfare. I talked for a lot longer than I intended, but I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm passionate about COD. I love COD, but I'm not one of these fanboys who hate or like defend it to the end of the world. I'm not paid by Activision. I'm not Team Martin. Activision, if you want to pay me. No, trust me, I'm not paid by Activision. Christ. I'd love to be paid by Activision. Christ, who wouldn't? Yeah, I'm not. This is just a genuine opinion. You're someone who likes and loves Call of Duty, and I'm upset by the hate it gets for no real reason, just because of the sake of it. Anyway, enough talking from me. I've been Commander Josh, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.